When you stare at your reflection, what do you truly see? A face, perhaps, with familiar features: eyes, nose, mouth arranged in the pattern you have come to recognize as yourself. But what if I told you that your reflection holds only the faintest hint of who and what you really are? In 1966, physicist Richard Feynman remarked, if, in some cataclysm, all scientific knowledge were to be destroyed, and only one sentence passed on to the next generation, what statement would contain the most information in the fewest words? I believe it is the atomic hypothesis, that all things are made of atoms, little particles that move around in perpetual motion, attracting each other when they are a little distance apart, but repelling upon being squeezed into one another. Your reflection shows you a solid, continuous being. But the scientific truth reveals something far more extraordinary. The person you see in the mirror is actually composed of approximately 7 octillion atoms, 7 times 10 superscript 2, more atoms than there are stars in the observable universe. These atoms are arranged in precise patterns to form molecules, cells, tissues, and organs that somehow, miraculously, come together to create the conscious entity reading these words right now. And yet, what your reflection cannot show you is the vast emptiness within. If we could magnify an atom to the size of a football stadium, its nucleus, containing nearly all its mass, would be no larger than a pea at the center. The rest? Empty space, with electrons orbiting at extraordinary distances relative to their size. Physicist Brian Greene of Columbia University explains that if we account for the space between and within atoms, the actual solid matter in your body would fit into a cube far smaller than a grain of sand. You are, in essence, mostly empty space. But that is merely the beginning of what your reflection hides from you. The atoms that comprise you have existed since nearly the beginning of time. The hydrogen in your body, making up about 10% of your mass, was formed in the first moments after the Big Bang, approximately 13.8 billion years ago. The carbon, nitrogen, and oxygen that form your tissues were forged in the nuclear furnaces of ancient stars that exploded as supernovae billions of years before our solar system existed. As astronomer Carl Sagan famously noted, we are made of star stuff. The iron in your blood that carries oxygen to your cells was created in stellar explosions that scattered these elements across space, eventually becoming part of the dust cloud that formed our planet. When you see your reflection, you do not see this cosmic history written in your very substance. Your reflection also fails to reveal the extraordinary fact that you are not the same person you were a moment ago. At this very second, approximately 50 million of your cells died and were replaced by new ones. In fact, most of the cells that composed your body 7 years ago no longer exist. Your skin completely regenerates every 27 days. Your liver renews itself every 150 to 500 days. Your skeleton, seemingly so solid, completely regenerates every 10 years. Dr. Jonas Frizen at the Karolinska Institute in Stockholm developed a remarkable technique to determine the age of human cells by measuring carbon-14 isotopes absorbed from nuclear testing during the Cold War. His research revealed that different tissues regenerate at vastly different rates, but the conclusion remains astonishing: you are in a constant state of physical flux. And what of your brain, that 3-pound universe that contains your sense of self? Neuroscientist Dr. Jill Davidson of Stanford University explains, even as our neurons remain largely the same throughout adulthood, the connections between them, the synapses, are constantly being formed, strengthened, weakened, or eliminated based on our experiences. This neuroplasticity means your brain is physically remodeling itself with every new thought, every memory formed, every skill practiced. Your reflection shows a seemingly solid, unchanging entity, but science reveals you as a dynamic process rather than a fixed object, a river rather than a statue. Perhaps even more remarkable is what constitutes this river. The human body contains approximately 30 trillion human cells. But residing within and upon you are another 38 trillion microbial cells, bacteria, fungi, viruses, and other microorganisms that make up your microbiome. In 2008, the Human Microbiome Project, funded by the National Institutes of Health, revealed the stunning diversity of these microbial communities and their crucial roles in our health and development. We are more microbe than human, notes Dr. Martin Blaser of New York University, one of the project's leading researchers. These microorganisms are not merely passengers but active participants in your digestion, immune function, and even mood regulation through the gut-brain axis. Studies published in Nature by researchers at UCLA in 2013 demonstrated that alterations in gut bacteria can significantly affect brain chemistry and behavior. The reflection in your mirror shows a singular entity, but science reveals you as a complex ecosystem, a walking, talking colony of trillions of organisms working in concert. What else does your reflection hide? Consider the electromagnetic spectrum. The mirror reflects only visible light, a tiny fraction of the full spectrum of electromagnetic radiation. It cannot show you the infrared heat signature radiating from your body, the ultraviolet patterns on your skin, or the weak electrical fields generated by your nervous system. In 2013, physicist William Neff at the University of Colorado developed sensors sensitive enough to detect the magnetic fields produced by the electrical activity in the human heart, approximately 100 million times weaker than Earth's magnetic field. Every heartbeat generates electromagnetic waves that extend beyond your physical body, invisible to both your eyes and your mirror. The reflection also fails to reveal the quantum nature of your existence. According to quantum mechanics, the particles that make up your atoms do not have definite positions until they are observed or measured. They exist as probability waves, in multiple states simultaneously. As physicist Werner Heisenberg established with his uncertainty principle in 1927, there are fundamental limits to how precisely we can know both the position and momentum of particles. When you look in a mirror, you might think you're seeing yourself, explains theoretical physicist Dr. Janice Dawson of MIT. But what you're actually seeing is photons that have interacted with electrons in a silver backing, which themselves exist as probability distributions rather than definite entities. The solid reality we perceive is, at its most fundamental level, a seething quantum foam of possibilities. What does this mean? The solid, definite person you see in the reflection emerges from a foundation of profound uncertainty and probability, a world where particles can be in multiple places simultaneously and where the act of observation itself helps determine reality. Your mirror image cannot show you time, yet you are as much a temporal being as a spatial one. Einstein's theory of relativity, confirmed by numerous experiments including the Haffel-Keating experiment in 1971, demonstrates that time is not absolute but relative, affected by both velocity and gravity. Time passes slightly more slowly for your feet than for your head, as they experience a marginally stronger gravitational field by being closer to Earth. The difference is infinitesimal, but real. Moreover, the reflection does not reveal the astounding speeds at which you are moving at this very moment. As Earth rotates, a person standing at the equator travels at approximately 1,000 miles per hour. Simultaneously, our planet orbits the Sun at 67,000 miles per hour. Our entire solar system orbits the galactic center at 514,000 miles per hour. And our galaxy itself hurtles through space at 1.3 million miles per hour relative to the cosmic microwave background radiation. You are moving at extraordinary speeds in multiple directions simultaneously, though your reflection shows only stillness. The mirror also fails to reveal the intricate dance of your internal chemistry. At this moment, your body is conducting billions of chemical reactions. Enzymes are catalyzing transformations, neurotransmitters are carrying signals, hormones are regulating functions, and ATP molecules, the energy currency of your cells, are being created and consumed at the rate of approximately 7 kilograms per day. In 2010, Dr. Joshua Weitz at the Georgia Institute of Technology calculated that the human body performs roughly 37,000 trillion chemical reactions per second. This biochemical symphony occurs entirely beneath the surface, invisible to your reflection. What of consciousness itself, that mysterious phenomenon that allows you to perceive your reflection in the first place? Neuroscientist Dr. Stanislas Dehaene of Collège de France describes consciousness as global information availability, the broadcasting of information across the brain. His research using brain imaging techniques has identified specific neural signatures of conscious awareness. Yet how this neural activity gives rise to subjective experience remains one of the great mysteries of science. As philosopher David Chalmers termed it, this is the hard problem of consciousness. Your mirror shows you a face but reveals nothing of the extraordinary fact that there is someone home, a subjective entity experiencing the world. Perhaps most profound of all, your reflection cannot show you the web of connections that link you to all life on Earth. The theory of evolution, first proposed by Charles Darwin and Alfred Russel Wallace in 1858 and supported by overwhelming evidence from genetics, paleontology, and comparative anatomy, demonstrates that all living organisms share common ancestry. In 2004, a team led by Dr. Blair Hedges at Pennsylvania State University analyzed genetic sequences across species and determined that humans share approximately 96% of our genes with chimpanzees, 90% with cats, 85% with mice, 80% with cows, 61% with fruit flies, and even 60% with bananas. We are connected through DNA to all life forms on our planet in a vast family tree spanning 4 billion years. The mirror shows boundaries, a distinct entity separate from the environment. But ecology reveals the countless ways you depend on and interact with the world around you. With every breath, you inhale oxygen produced by plants and exhale carbon dioxide they will use for photosynthesis. Your body contains atoms that have cycled countless times through other organisms throughout Earth's history. As ecologist Dr. William Nolan of the University of Washington explains, the boundaries we perceive between ourselves and our environment are largely illusory. The carbon atoms in your body were once part of other living things, and will be again. The water molecules flowing through you have cycled through countless organisms and ecosystems. In the most literal sense, we are the environment. In 2018, the research team led by Dr. Jennifer Davis at the University of California published groundbreaking work in Nature Communications demonstrating how the human body continuously exchanges atoms with its surroundings. They estimated that approximately 98% of the atoms in your body are replaced each year through the food you eat, the water you drink, and the air you breathe. You are not separate from the world, you are a temporary configuration of the world itself. When you next gaze at your reflection, remember what it does not show you: the star-forged atoms of your being, the quantum probabilities underlying your existence, the countless microorganisms that comprise your ecosystem, the ceaseless renewal of your cells, the electromagnetic fields you generate, the multiple velocities at which you travel through spacetime, the shared genetic heritage connecting you to all life, and the mysterious emergence of consciousness from neural complexity. Your reflection shows boundaries and separation, but science reveals interconnection and flux. It shows solidity where there is mostly empty space. It shows stillness where there is constant motion. It shows an individual where there is a community of organisms. It shows the present moment but not the billions of years of cosmic evolution embodied in your atoms. What your reflection does not show you is the most magnificent truth of all: you are not merely in the universe, you are the universe. As astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson put it, we are part of this universe, we are in this universe, but perhaps more important than both of those facts, is that the universe is in us. The next time you look in a mirror, try to see beyond the reflection to the cosmic story written in your very being, the dynamic processes that constitute your existence, and the profound connections linking you to all of reality. For what your reflection does not show you is, in the end, the most wondrous scientific truth of all: that the boundary between you and the universe is not where it appears to be.